By the way, you know, it might help if I were to tell you who these navigators are at the exchanges. In California, the navigators are people from ACORN, Planned Parenthood, the Service Employees International Union. Well, they are. That's who got the money to administer the exchanges. I remember the story that we did on this a month ago. About a month ago. California's getting something like $900 million for their exchange. And the people running it are ACORN, SEIU, Planned Parenthood. And this is probably going to be the case in all the other exchanges as well. They are voter registration outreach plans, essentially, in addition to administering the exchanges. So it's going to be ACORN and SEIU, Planned Parenthood, are going to have to make sure that your tax return and other personal data isn't just lying around on a fax machine or left overnight in a printer for the janitorial crew to get. Let me ask you a question. If things get too bad out there at the exchanges, can the navigators just do your annual checkup for you and be done with this? You know, when you get right down to when you cut to the chase, when you strip away all of what's going on out there, these navigators are going to end up being your health care providers, these people that you're going to be interacting with at the exchanges. And what is an exchange? An exchange, ladies and gentlemen, is a website. Pure and simple. It's a website. 36 states have set up or agreed to set up exchanges. But let's say it was all 50 states, 50, or is it 57? Hell, I'm confused. They've had 3+ years and limitless amounts of money, and they can't set up websites. They have access to the best brains and the best IT minds out there. Instead, they funneled the money for these exchanges to their political buddies, the unions, Planned Parenthood. And I'm not making that up. If you didn't hear the program that day when we learned who is getting the money at the LA or the California exchanges, it is Democrat interest groups. It's Planned Parenthood. It's the Service Employees International Union. It's ACORN. These are the groups of people that are being given the money to administer, i.e. navigate these exchanges. And all they are is websites. Now, depending on your age, let's say that you're a millennial, somewhere up to the age of 34, 35. Your life is on websites. You either have an account at Amazon, you have an account at iTunes, or you have many accounts on many websites where you have given them your credit card information or what have you. And you're used to going to Amazon, and if you want to go buy a Kindle book, it takes 5 seconds. Period. And this is what people are accustomed to. They're accustomed to these websites just working. The websites are never shut down, and if they are, it is a big deal. And normally if they are, it's because they're down for maintenance, or maybe there's just a huge demand or load on them. But there ought not be any excuse for these websites to be unreachable. How could you not expect there to be a huge load? How could you not plan for that? But everybody that's gone to healthcare.gov today has run into an absolute nightmare that has taken a lot of time, and most of them have been kicked out of their attempt to get an account and register, and they've been sent to what is essentially the back of the line. I'm sitting here. So I don't think they need to be cut some slack. They've had 3 years. This is the federal government. They've got limitless amounts of money. There is no excuse except incompetence. People that have no idea what they're doing are running this. They think they're the smartest people in the world. They think they have the biggest hearts and are the most compassionate. They sit around all day and they theorize about how when they get power and when they're in control, they're going to fix all these things wrong with this country, and they make a mess of everything. They make a mess of every entitlement program. Nothing. There isn't one thing the federal government does that anybody in big business would emulate. At least not in the profit sector. And that's the story today. The media loves the shutdown because it's an opportunity to break the Tea Party, they think, and to rip into the Republicans. Let me give you just an example. This is Charlie Spearing. I think that's how he pronounces his name. It might be Spiring. He's at the D.C. Examiner. The glitchy, error-filled misadventures of creating an account at healthcare.gov. Now, again, I want to stress here that everybody probably is thinking, well, we need to cut them some slack. I'm not of that frame of mind because, as I say, they've had 3 years, limitless amounts of money. There's no excuse for what's happening today to be happening, but it was all predictable. And it was predicted. This cannot work. Now, here's Mr. Spearing's admission. This thing prints out to 6 pages, and I'm not going to go through all of that. He says, a friend and I spent the morning trying unsuccessfully just to create an account at healthcare.gov and shop for cheaper health insurance. We live in Virginia. But it appears we won't be shopping and comparing healthcare plans anytime soon. Here's a description and some screenshots of what we found. Step 1, you find the Open for Business page at healthcare.gov. The health insurance marketplace is open, and there's a smiling liberal woman there pictured beckoning you to enter the website. And the button is Apply Now. Enroll now in a plan that covers essential benefits, pre-existing conditions, and more. By the way, it is the pre-existing condition policy that I read somewhere this morning that somebody encountered a price tag of $33,000 a year. Now, a lot of people who think Obamacare is finally going to cover their pre-existing condition also think it's going to be free or close to it. That's part and parcel of the expectation. And they're finding out that's not the case. So, step 2 is there a line. Step 3, filling out all my data, my email, my name, my unique password with at least one uppercase letter and a number, and my username. Step 4, security questions. And you have to pick 3. This is in case you forget your password. And in order for them to reissue you a new one or identify you as the person claiming to be you, you have to be able to answer these security questions. And one of the questions, I kid you not, in the list that you can choose 3 from is, what is your favorite radio station? And it happens to be at the top of the list. And other questions are, what was your favorite toy when you were a child? What's your favorite cuisine? First name of your oldest niece? Relative's telephone number that's not your own? Type of significant date in your life? And Mr. Spearing says, do I want the government having the answers to those questions? Oh, well, the NSA probably already knows. So he did that, moves on to step 5, says, okay, here we go. Then there are did the security questions. He put in his favorite radio station. And then step 6, create a marketplace account. After he had done everything up to this point, he gets a red banner that says, your account couldn't be created at this time. Please note that 2 or more answers to the security question cannot be the same. You must provide distinct answers to the chosen security questions. Please wait a few minutes and try again. And there's a button here to return to create account page. Well, as he points out, his 3 answers are all different words. He didn't violate the rules, so to speak. He followed directions explicitly, implicitly. And he was still rejected. He said his friend had the same problem. So step 7 was back to the home page. When this effort bombed out, after he had done everything right, he was sent back to the very beginning and told to repeat steps 1 through 5, at which point he was told his effort had failed again. He was sent back to the top of the page, back to the home page, at this time with a button which said try again. And he was told once again to repeat steps 1 through 5. Now, a lot of people have been trying this today just to see what happens. I, of course, have better usage of my time to do this, because at some point we're all going to have to do it. But at the end of, I think, 3 or 4 attempts, each one a failure, and each one sent back to the home page, he finally got a message which said, "System error. Please retry your action. If you continue to get this error, please contact the administrator." And I know some of you are out there shouting, "Come on, Russia, no big deal, happens all the time." And it doesn't happen all the time. But again, these people have had 3 years to set this up. They've had limitless amounts of money. It is a harbinger. It's an indication of how this is going to go. And it isn't pretty.